West
Check,
Regional.
check.
Second. They
Check.
finished second stage.
We're good.
Good Tuesday evening, everyone, and welcome into the Sports Blitz, Lake Martin Sports Roundup show, live on location in beautiful downtown Alexander City at JR Sports Bar and Grill, as we are each and every Tuesday. Adam Blankenship and Scott Hardy here with you for the next hour, discussing all things local. We've had a bit of exciting news, not necessarily exciting news, but surprising news to take place in the Lake Martin area. Last week, the head coach for the Central Coosa Cougars, Barry Simmons, resigned to take a defensive coordinator position at Asheville. And it was really a family decision to get back close to his family. He was having to drive pretty much about 3 hours total round trip each day to be able to be the head football coach for the Cougars. So definitely a shock to many in the area. But for a team that had gone 5-5, 500 for 2 consecutive seasons, made the playoffs their first year, for this to happen at 6 days before the first practice is definitely not something you want to see. But Blank, this is something that now they're looking on Thursday. The school will make a recommendation to the board on Thursday on who they would like to hire. So hopefully they'll have something situated then. But it's a tough blow for the Cougars to lose their head coach a week before practice starts.
Yeah, definitely. And we've talked about it pretty much all summer. Looking forward to seeing how Coosa is going to come back after having a strong year and everything, and seeing what he can do. But so I'm sure that they're shocked, and everyone is just as shocked as we are with that, because I hate to see him go, because it seems like he had the program going in the right direction. So it kind of makes you wonder, what can these kids put together for the rest of this season? I mean, coming in today, first day of practice, is that right? Or yesterday?
Yesterday, yeah.
And here we are, and you still don't have a head coach. Kind of takes the wind out of your sail a little bit. So it's going to be interesting to keep up with. I hate to see it happen to that team, especially the seniors and everything, because I'm sure they were excited about it coming back after the success that they had. But, it's one of those things where it can help build some character. And it's not what they wanted. It's not ideal, but you get to find out what kind of leadership you have for sure, because if leadership plays a role, and this is definitely a time when you need it.
Yeah, and you speak about leadership, and obviously everyone had become they were excited about the progression that was happening in Rockford, and seeing what was being, in Coosa County. I'm not going to say necessarily Rockford, but in Coosa County, for them to be able to make the playoffs his first season after not making it in nearly probably 15 years at least, since Justin Tuck and them were there, probably they hadn't made the playoffs, and then following that, going 5-5 again and missing the 4th spot in the playoffs by only 1 game. So they were very competitive, and it was interesting to see how things were going to play out. And Coach Simmons was really elated about the talent he had coming back, even though he lost his top player in Raymond Graham and Tyus Evans last year. This was going to be something where they were really excited about getting more players out. And I think that was something that he was able to tap into that other coaches haven't necessarily been able to do, is transitioning some of those basketball guys into coming over to football and being dual sport athletes. But it definitely is a blow. And so the Lake Martin area, the teams that we cover, have definitely had some coaching transitions there. Horseshoe Bend with a new coach, and then you see some transition on the staff at Benson Russell, 2 guys getting head coaching jobs for them, Jeremy Stanford as well as Coach Tal Morrison. So those are 2 crucial guys to that staff, especially Coach Morrison, who's the offensive line coach there. And then you see what happens at Coosa County, and then Reeltown coming off this is only their 2nd year with their head coach, with Matt Johnson. So it's interesting really to dive into all of what's happening on the landscape after having these coaching positions solidify for so long, and now to see so much uproar and change within them, it's kind of disappointing in somewhat, because we were looking forward to covering these guys, but now we'll learn new names to get prepared for another football season.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm interested I like to talk to some of the guys and see, what their thoughts are and how they're feeling with everything, because I'm sure they kind of feel, of course, they're let down, but kind of feel a little bit of betrayed. I understand that he was driving certain distances and everything else, but you sit here and you're coaching one thing, and you're preaching one thing, and then bam, right here for the season starts, gone, just like that. It's a rough situation, man, and it's just not very favorable for those guys. I'm just curious.
It happens. I mean, we're seeing it on the high school level, but this happens on the college level all the time, and not necessarily on the pro level. It's a business at that point, so you do what you got to do. But I guess it applies on any level. But you see what happens. Guys buy into your system, or you get guys to come out and play and say, "Hey, if you stick with me, this is what's going to happen." You're there 2 years, get a better job, and leave. And not necessarily saying he got a better job by any means, because he did take a lower position.
It's even weirder. You know what I mean? It's even crazier.
Which that makes me think it really was more so on the family end, just because of the fact that he did go from a head coaching position to a defense coordinator's position. But with that in mind, if you're a player, the moment, and even within the community, there was really starting to be some buy-in with the football program, and you could change. You could start to see they had started a quarterback club. They were starting to raise money, so there was really an investment there. And then for this to happen, as you said, is a big blow. And I bet there is some disappointment and somewhat of a betrayal if you're a player. But as a student athlete, you most of the times they'll get the worst end of a coaching situation. So we wish him good luck as he moves on, and then hopefully we'll have the opportunity to catch up with the newest head coach of the Cougars sometime soon, relatively soon before the football season starts.
Probably won't, because he's got a lot to do.
He does.
You know what I mean? He's kind of behind the eight ball already. But we wish those guys best of luck. We hope these seniors and juniors and the rest of the entire team be able to put it together and make something get good out of it. It's a bad situation.
Absolutely. We'll go ahead and take our first break of the evening. When we come back, Adam Blankenship will have Scott Meacham, the head coach of the 8U All-Star team that came in second at state and fourth at the Southwest Regional. We're going to take our first break. More of the Late Morning Sports Roundup show right after this.
He's got something special.
Welcome back into Lake Martin Sports Roundup. I'm your host, Adam Blake Show, back now. Scott stepped off. We're here talking with the head coach of the AU Boys All-Stars here in Alex City, Scott Mitchum. Scott, you doing okay, man? How's everything going? Doing pretty good, man. We were talking a little bit off air, and we kind of run into as the show started, talking about you guys' All-Star season and y'all's run and the success that y'all had. Tell us a little bit about this summer and how everything went out for you guys.
I'll tell you what, it goes back to when this group was 7 years old. We played in the 7U tournament back last summer, and, we ended that thing up, and, it didn't end on a good note. We, went up to Florence, and we were just kind of undermanned, undersized, if that makes sense. We just got our tail whipped all across the field, by the big boys, by the good teams. And so we came back, took a little break, and we decided that we were going to team up with Matthew Kill and Top Notch Athletics and get a travel ball group going. We started out last fall, and, we begin with, we just started growing together as a team and learning the concept of what we were trying to teach. And next thing you know it, we start winning a few travel ball tournaments, and we would take the winner off a little bit and individually train, some hitting lessons and stuff like that. And so it rolls into the spring, and we played league ball. And on the weekends, we also played some travel ball tournaments, the same group, which fortunately ended up being most of the all-star team. And the biggest thing is the way these boys have grown together, the continuity they built together. There's no superstar on the team per se. It's just a total team effort, and that's kind of the motto that those boys have carried. That it's a we not me type deal, and just had a lot of success.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you keyed on some key points there. Is a lot of people don't realize, because baseball, there's so much individual going on, individual at bats or in plays, everything else, but it's such a huge team game, and you really got to be used to playing with each other. So I'm sure that right there, and them boys getting that experience playing with each other kind of helps and makes them better in the long run. But talk to us a little bit about some of the work that you did with Matthew Kill over at Top Notch.
Yeah, it started off, him offering individual lessons, and fortunately, I played ball with Matthew back when I was younger, so we, had that relationship. So fortunately, my son was, happened to be one of the first few that got in there and started training with him, and started seeing some immediate results. And especially with kids these age, is they respond better to someone other than their dad.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw a lot of. And so as we started going, then, spread the word to, a couple of our family friends, and then a couple of our teammates, and here and there. And, and as Matthew's product grew and the success that he was having with his clients, so did his business. And he came to us and said that he loved the boys, in this age group, and wanted to start a travel ball group. And what did we think about it? And we were all in favor. And so, it's just the biggest thing is when you only play league ball, and you've got a select group of kids that make all-stars, you've got 3 or 4 weeks together. And 3 or 4 weeks out of the year is not enough time to build any kind of chemistry. You hear people talk team chemistry all the time. And so what this has allowed us to do is play more throughout the year, and the boys being comfortable with who they're throwing the ball to, and kind of set positions and understanding, a batting order. And okay, we got a kid on first and second. My job now is to lay down the sacrifice, get the man over, because it's team. We need the runs more than, we need you to lay that bunt down. That's more important to me than a ball hit over the fence with nobody on base. And so them buying into that and us breaking down the game of baseball and learning the fundamentals and the core principles of the game, that's been the biggest help.
Yeah, definitely. And it's kind of good at this age too, because they hadn't gotten into too many bad habits yet as far as swings and the way they approach ground balls and stuff like that. So I'm sure that helps a ton too. But I think you hit on the thing that I've said for years now, and that we've always done our city league so differently than a majority of places. And these teams that you go up against these tournaments, they play each other all year long. And then, like you said, you play and you're with each other for 3 weeks. You can't do that. You can't develop a good team that way. So it's nice to see that you guys have a solid travel ball team that plays together a lot throughout the year and really gets comfortable. And I'm sure at the high school level, Coach Wilson will love that too. That they're used to that.
Yeah, and I think what we've seen is I think Matthew has come back and he started a 7-year-old group, so it's almost like he's skipping an age group. But trying to lay that foundation, and if you can lay the foundation, it only makes the high school athletics even stronger. And in talking with people in the surrounding area and former Phoenix City head baseball coach Ron Nelson, and understanding how they run their organization and their groups over there. It's funny. Phoenix City is our area, and we beat them in the regional tournament. I mean, not in the regional tournament, in the district tournament before we went to state. They went down. They were a semifinalist in state, and then they were a semifinalist in regionals, and so it's going to be pretty competitive from here on out with that group of kids. But what they do is they not only do they have their travel ball group, and they've got a group of about 15, and so they rotate these guys, but they also their city. They've also got a fall baseball program, where they play a couple of times a week. It may only be 3 or 4 teams, and you play against each other a lot, but it's that same thing. It keeps a ball in their hand, it keeps a bat in their hand, and you're playing with a lot of the same guys and building that chemistry and just continuing to develop yourself, because just doing it in the spring, if you want to be good at it, is tough.
Yeah, exactly. And when we were coming up, we played fall ball in high school, stuff like that. That's the time where you try new positions and you try different stance and those type things. So that's crucial. And especially these days, kids are playing 365. Like if you're not playing, you're falling behind.
You're behind.
So it's huge that you guys are doing that as well. Talk to us a little bit about your tournaments, about the regionals and the state tournaments this year.
Yeah, we started off in district, and our first couple of games were pretty easy. I think the guys were a little comfortable. We come out against Phoenix City on a Friday night. We did not get a hit. It's hard to believe off of a pitching machine we didn't get a hit.
Still in darts that night.
We've been scoring 20 runs a game, and so they shut us down. They run ruled us. We had to turn around and play another game to get back to the finals on Saturday morning. We beat Phoenix City twice that next morning to win district. We went on to state down in Opp, Alabama, and had a fantastic run there. We got hot. We made it to the state championship game against Daphne. Daphne was the defending regional champions, and so we knew we had our hands full. So when we met them in the finals, that was our 3rd game that day. And we had just won our semifinal game 17-16 in a walk-off fashion in the bottom of the 6th. And so the adrenaline carried us through 3 or 4 innings. Actually had, a 3-2 lead on them through 4 innings, and then we just crumbled. So, we're proud of what the boys did. Came back home, prepared for a week, and went down to the regional tournament. We beat a team from Oklahoma, beat a team from Arkansas, beat 2 teams from Mississippi. And when we did that, we turned around and met Daphne, unfortunately, again in the semifinals. That's the way we were paired. We came out of pool play as the number 2 seed in the tournament. Daphne was the 3 seed in the tournament. Met them in the state semifinals, and they've got a good program. They've got a good group of boys, and we knew we had a tough challenge, but we know where that bar is because they went on to win the regional tournament. So we know where that bar is. We know where we got to get, and that's what we're going to work towards.
Yeah, definitely, and that says a lot. And that has to help build a tremendous amount of confidence for the players being able to beat some of these teams from Arkansas, Mississippi, and all over the Southeast. It shows that hey, we're really good at this. Mm-hmm. So I can imagine that the confidence boost that you got there. We talked a little bit off air before we came back on about the next step for this team. Talk to us a little bit about what you guys are doing to prepare now. I think we're making a big jump now from machine pitch to kid pitch, right?
That's right. We're going to get back going Thursday. So just a couple of days. We've only had 3.5, 4 weeks off. Short little break, but get back going Thursday. We're going to truly understand. The biggest thing now is to understand the principle and the foundation of pitching, and knowing how to do it right. We're going to be a fast ball and a location group. Especially at this age, we won't start working in, change ups until, probably next year or the following. We're, everybody in my group, firm believers that, 13 years old before you even consider a breaking ball. So, we're just rolling into 9. Good fastball, throw in a little change up with location. There's been a many of guys that have made many millions of dollars as that is their art. You got a Greg Maddox and the likes of those guys that, they don't blow the ball past anybody. Yes, they do have a breaking ball, but the changeup is their deadly pitch with the location, and that's what we're going to pound in their head. So that's what we're going to work towards, and prepare this fall, be more of an instructional fall with a few tournaments at the end, and be ready for the spring.
Well, man, I would appreciate you coming in and talking with us. My producer over here is telling me we got to get a quick commercial break, but I want to key on one thing, though, is just the amount of work that you and your coaching staff's doing, working with Matthew, the knowledge that you guys bring too. I think that's huge. I think that's going to really make this group special because you guys have played your entire life and you really know what's going on as well. So I'm sure all the parents feel the same way, but this group's really special that they're able to work with y'all.
That's right.
That y'all are able to do that. That's what it's about right there.
That's right. That's right. Special group of kids, special group of parents, and that's hard to find. There's no arguing. It just everybody gets along and everybody understands their role. Everybody has a role. We understand it, whether you're sacrificing yourself for an out or you're the star player of the game. There's nobody that's selfish, and that's a great thing to have and a hard thing to find.
And there you have it. That's the head coach for the AU Alex City All-Star team, Scott Mitchum. We'll take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. We're going to talk to some of the players. More on the Lake Martin Sports Roundup right after this. Oh, wrong one again. Can you hear me over top? Check, check.
Sounds like a plan.
Welcome back in to Lake More Sports Roundup. I'm your host, Adam Blankenship. Joined back now with Mr. Scott Hardy as we had a good interview with the head coach of the AU Alex City Boys All-Star team, Scott Meacham. One thing I took away from that is how much work these guys are putting in, how much they're actually playing all year. But before we go any further, let's talk to the real MVPs. It's the players that have given up all of their spare time and donated their entire summers, and it looks like they're going to be their fall and spring and everything else. But, Scott, let's talk to some of these kids.
All right. Mr. Calhoun. All right, what's your name?
Will Calhoun.
All right, Will, what position did you play?
Play left field.
Left field. All right, so who's your favorite baseball player?
Corey Seager.
All right, I can respect that. Well, congratulations on a great season. Thank you for coming. Know your name. What's your name?
Kachisana.
What position did you play?
Pitcher.
All right, do you have a favorite pitcher?
No.
Favorite baseball team?
Dodgers.
And what's your favorite player?
Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper. All right, appreciate it, Cash. What's your name?
Jesse. Worthy.
There you go. What position did you play?
Second base.
Base. Who's your favorite baseball player?
Derek Jeter.
Jeter. And do you have a favorite baseball team?
Dodgers.
So, all right, appreciate it, man.
A lot of Dodgers already. Yeah.
All right, what's your name?
Cade Coleman.
Mr. Coleman, what position did you play?
Left center.
Center. All right. Do you have a favorite baseball team?
Rays.
Okay. Did you say the Rays or Braves?
Rays.
Mine too. That's what I'm talking about. Favorite team. Thank you for coming. All right, Mr. Lumpkin, what's your name?
Charlie Lumpkin.
Charlie, what position did you play?
Shortstop.
What was your favorite thing about being on the All-Star team this year? Favorite baseball team?
Dodgers.
All right, good deal. Thank you. What's your name?
Patrick Mays.
All right, Pat, what position did you play?
Right field.
Right field. And what's your favorite baseball team?
Braves.
All right, thank you. What's your name?
Carter Nace.
All right, Carter, what position did you play?
Right center field.
Right center field. And what was the best thing about being on the All-Star team this year?
That we made it all the way to regionals.
Good answer. Good job. Thank you, man. All right. What's your name?
Eli.
All right, Eli, what position did you play?
Catcher.
All right. What's your favorite thing about being on the All-Star team?
The rides.
That is a good part of it. What's your favorite baseball player?
Freddie Freeman.
Freeman. All right. Good job, man. Thanks for coming. All right. What's your name?
Dayton.
What position did you play?
First.
All right, do you have a favorite first baseman? Favorite baseball player? Favorite baseball team?
Rays.
All right. Good job. All right. What's your name?
CJ Young.
Jay, what position did you play?
Catcher.
All right. What was your favorite part about being on the All-Star team?
We get to travel a lot of new places.
Do you have a favorite baseball team?
The Cubs.
Good answer. Good answer. All right. Go wrap things up with you. What's your name?
Michael.
Michael, what position did you play?
Third base.
Base. What's your favorite thing about being on the All-Star team? Hey, y'all too. So y'all, I tried to prep.
We get to travel.
Do you have a favorite baseball player?
DJ LeMay.
Oh, DJ LeMay. All right, I can rock with that. Well, good answer. Well, guys, congratulations on a great season, finishing second at state and fourth at the Southwest Regional. Congratulations. I'm sure we'll see you guys again. Blank. finish it off.
There you have it, Scott. That is the Alex City 8U Boys All-Star team. We'll take a quick commercial break. We're going to come out here. More. Still got a couple more guests left, so stick around with us. More on the Lake Morris Sports Roundup show right after this. Welcome back into Lake Morris Sports Roundup. I'm your host, Adam Blankenship. Scott stepped off. We had a great interview with the head coach and the players of the Alex City 8U All-Star team as they had a lot of success this year going on to the regionals, playing really well in the state tournament as well. But we'll switch gears a little bit. We're going to talk a little bit about some pro wrestling. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And my guest here now, introduce yourself to the listening audience.
My name's Kevin Brandon. I'm the owner and promoter of IWA Deep South Wrestling.
Huh?
And I'm getting ready for this. This is going to be the biggest event of the summer. I mean, I think in the state, Softcore Cup 2, it's a tournament. We call it a gimmick tournament because the fans can make gimmicks to bring. Some of these are going to be probably hard to understand, the softcore bats and boards.
Uh-huh.
Best way I can tell you is they have like boards, and some of them have bubble wrap on them. Some of them have crayons and plastic forks and just different stuff like that. The fans bring the Legos and Mega Blocks. That's pretty self-explanatory. They'd be like slamming each other on the Legos and stuff.
So the fans bring the stuff.
Yeah.
And all the wrestlers are fighting with it and everything else. I mean,
yeah, they'll use the props during the match.
Oh, man. All
you know,
right.
they can hand them stuff or they can bring them stuff in the ring.
There you go. How many matches are y'all having?
It's going to be 12 matches altogether.
12 matches. All right.
Yeah.
So people are definitely getting their money's worth with this right here, then, for sure, right?
Yeah, you're going to get your money's worth. We're going to have a special MC, guest ring announcer for the night, comedian Steve Jessup from Louisiana. I don't know if you remember him or not. He was a guy several years ago that got pulled over driving the lawnmower drunk down the road in the scissor lift.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming in, going to be the MC for tonight. Let's see, we got a ladies lingerie cat fight, which, I mean, the guys, I mean, come on out because it's worth getting in there just for that.
There you go.
Drunken monkey match. You just have to come see what
it's one of those things you have to see. It's better to show us than explain it.
I can't really describe it that well, you know, right here. This is an 18-plus event, so you got to be 18 to get in. It is an adult-oriented event.
Yeah.
Tickets, we got golden circle tables for $25 each. General admission, you can get in for $20. If you get them advanced, they're $15. And I got a special now. If you buy 4, you get the 5th one free.
Oh, nice.
Advance, you can call me at 256-223-2021. Or you can order them with a credit card with PayPal. You can email me at alabamapro, that's PRO, at hotmail.com.
All right, so who is y'all's defending champion right now? Who is the wrestler that's
the defending champion right now is Jeff Hitman Hart.
Oh, he's just destroying everybody?
Yeah, he is. He's destroying everybody.
Jeff Hitman Hart, that sounds like the one from WWF.
Well, he's one of the Harts, you know.
Yeah.
He's not a brother, he's a cousin.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I got him coming in. Let's see who else I got. We've got a hardcore Terry Houston from North Carolina. We've got White Mike. White Mike's looking to get a try with WWE coming up. Got Effie from Tallahassee, Florida. We have, let's see, we got a tag team called Rated X.
Mm-hmm.
We got them coming in. Let's see, I'm trying to think. Got Bama Mark Chaos. He's a mascot on Rick and Bubba. Sometimes they have him on Bama Mark Chaos. Go have some hot women at the show.
There you go.
Good-looking women. Go have a Money in the Bank Rumble ladder match where they hang the briefcase above the ring,
Nice.
and you got to climb the ladder to get the case. So every match is going to be some kind of stipulation.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to be just like traditional. This show here is geared more toward a bar audience.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be at we ain't mentioned that. We're going to be at the Rodeo Club in Dadeville, like Blake Martin Event Center.
Is this the first time you ever done a show at the Rodeo Club? Have y'all done before?
This will be the first one there.
Oh, nice.
This first one. So if you're in the area, you know where the Rodeo Club is.
Yeah,
in Dadeville on Highway 30. It's County Road 34.
County Road 34, and there's tons of space in there, so it should be a plenty of room for everyone. It should be a really fun event.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got some good talent lined up, and it's some. This drunken monkey match sounds pretty interesting right there for sure. So, I'm run through one more time. Run through the dates, the times, what do you do to contact to get tickets, all those type of things one more time.
Yeah, IWA Deep South Wrestling Softcore Cup 2. It's going to be Saturday, August 19th. That's not this Saturday, but next, August 19th. Bell time will be 7 o'clock. Doors will open at 6. Be at the Rodeo Club, Lake Martin Event Center in Dadeville. Again, the tickets, the Golden Circle tickets are $25. General admission at the door are $20. If you buy them in advance, they're $15. Buy 4 general admission tickets, get the 5th one free. You can call me at 256-223-2021, or you can email me alabamapro, PRO, at hotmail.com. To order PayPal if you want to do credit or debit, PayPal, whatever.
Well, you definitely need to get your tickets and get in there fast, because I'm sure this is going to be something that's going to pack out really quickly.
Yeah,
and it's
the
gonna be a fun.
ringside are selling quick though. So if you want to get ringside, just give me a call or email me, and we can get them. Ed at the rodeo club, he'll have some there. You can get them if you're in the area. You can get them down there.
Well, it's gonna be a ton of fun. And according to this right here, it says it's gonna be filmed or taped live for Blu-ray and DVD. So if you're coming out, make sure you dress up, wear your nice suit because you're gonna be on camera.
Yeah.
You might even get drugged into the ring, get body slammed. That ever happen?
No, not really. We'll do some drawings. I mean, we'll give some shirts and some videos away. So we'll have some drawings. And like I said, it's at the rodeo club, so there'll be plenty of cold beverages to drink, and we'll have a full concession.
Nice.
Piece of hot dogs, nachos. So come, if you're hungry, we'll have stuff to eat. So it's gonna be a ton of fun. Great night. I mean, great night of pro wrestling action. A little different than what you used to, but you don't want to miss it though, because there won't be another show like this.
Yeah, definitely. And this is something good too for people who kind of get tired of doing the same old thing. That this is going to be something new and exciting. So that's August 19th. That's next Saturday night at the Lake Martin Event Center Rodeo Club on County Road 34 in Dadeville. That's the Soft Core Cup 2. Appreciate you coming on and talking with us about the event, and I'm sure it's going to be a success. And everybody looking forward to seeing how everything goes.
All right, appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. We appreciate you. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Scott's going to come back with us right here quickly with another quick interview. But more on the Lake Martin Sports Roundup show right after this.
Hey, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir, man. We appreciate it.
Back in, and thanks for joining us here on the Sports Blitz Lake Martin Sports Roundup show. We've had a great show this evening, and we appreciate all the guests that we've had. Again, thank you to the 8U All-Star team for coming up. Congratulations to them on the great season they had. But speaking of congratulations, we have a former Benjamin Russell standout and current Jackson State Gamecock, Mr. Corley Woods, joining us. Corley, thanks for joining us.
No problem, Scott.
Well, Corley, you've had the experience this summer to play. Let's rewind, actually. Just finished your first season with Jack State as one of their pitchers. What was that experience like, and can you just talk a little bit about the season in general?
Oh, well, as a senior at Benjamin Russell, I really didn't have that many schools talking to me. So if you'd have told me I would have had about 30 innings at Jacksonville State, man, that would have been crazy. And then go out there and actually do that and contribute to the team. I mean, it was great, more than anything I could ask for. It was just a great experience.
Now, obviously, there is a difference in the caliber of hitter from high school to college, but what's the difference as a pitcher? What are you doing differently to attack the hitters now?
In high school, I was contact in high school, but every now and then I could throw one. I mean, I didn't throw hard, but some kids you could throw it by. There's none of those in college. You're just going to have to make good – every pitch is a good pitch, and if you mess up, they'll let you know you messed up. And that's what the main difference was for me. Just pitches I messed up on in high school, you get away with it. You're not getting away with it in college.
Did you? I know you were in the relief role some, but did you get any starts?
No starts. A few games I stretched it out. Like I had my first win was against Sanford. I think I went about 5, so I stretched it out that game. And this summer I had 1 start. That's my only start this whole year, though.
All right, and you brought up this summer. You had the experience to play some good baseball. This summer. Can you just tell us where you were and what the league was called?
I was in Stanton, Virginia. It's the Valley Baseball League. It's I'm pretty sure it's one of the 6 summer league that's sponsored by the MLB. So, I mean, that was pretty cool to play in that. And it's just that's where you have fun, but that's where that's where it's at. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's having a good time, but everybody there is good, and they're ready to play. And they're all trying to get their at-bats and their pitches in, so you just got to grind.
What's the process like what's required of you to be able to make it to one of the leagues?
Normally what happens is they actually recruit just like high school. They recruit, and your coaches have connections, and they can get you places. But mine was one of the guys on a 5th-year senior that wasn't playing ball, was kind of like helping with the team. He played in this league, and he had a big connection, and me and him got really close, and he hooked me up, so that was really nice.
That's good, man. And we obviously followed you all through your high school career, and you mentioned the type of pitch you were in high school, and so not necessarily saying you can correlate that to the college level, but from a workout perspective, what are you doing, I guess, to try to increase any speed or anything along those lines? Well,
like me and you were just talking about, I've talked to Kendall, and he got this year. I know y'all noticed he's got a lot more velocity on his ball, so obviously you need to. The more harder you can throw, the better you're going to be. So I talked to him. I got one of his workouts, and me and a few buddies at Jacksonville State looked up, got some good pitching workouts from other colleges, and I've been doing that this summer. And actually, at the end of this summer, the more I threw, the harder I started throwing. So that'll be good. After rest, I'm sure I'll still be throwing it.
All right. So you finish up the summer league, and you're getting ready to enter the fall semester at Jack State. So when does baseball actually start for you guys?
I'm pretty sure it'll start about September. We'll have like 4-on-1s, 4 players, 1 coach, stuff like that. So that's when we'll get going. Workouts, fall ball.
I got you. So we'll transition over to a couple of national topics. I did want to – you talked about Kendall. What has it been like to have somebody like him from our hometown, see the success he's had, and then being as humble as he is and wanting to give back to someone who is striving to be the same person? I
mean, Kendall's just great, and everything he's got, and nobody's giving him anything. He's worked for everything he's got in the position he's in, and that's just – I mean, if you want a role model, that's the best one you can have, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's definitely a great one to follow. So we appreciate all the things he's been doing in terms of trying to get back to the community. I've spoken to several different people who said that anytime they've needed to get in contact with him, he's been right there with him. And so that's what you like to see, and that's what it's all about, is reciprocating the things that people have done for you. So I think that you're on the right verge of that, and looking at your relationship with the high school team as well, I'm sure that they'll be calling on you for some advice as well on that end. Nationally, though, going back to that, is there a team that you're following or that you like, or do you just follow more specific players?
I normally follow specific players like Pat Neshek for the Phillies. He kind of throws like me. I like to see the stuff he does. And Max Scherzer, I actually watched a video on him the other day on how he throws his slider. So I like to keep up with players.
And Scherzer really, he was, I mean, don't get me wrong, he was good, but there was, right before he really blew up that little stretch when he was with the Tigers, I was like, man, how did these pitchers just coming out of nowhere? And it seems like that is really how baseball has transitioned to, is you either throw it 100 miles an hour, or the art of pitching isn't necessarily what it used to be, but you're starting to see more guys now really going back and studying the craft, and it's more than just throwing 100 miles per hour. Everybody can't be a Rawlins Chapman, so you have to be able to pitch. And so I think that's good for the game, is that guys are actually having to learn how to pitch and not just throw.
That's good for me, especially.
Yeah.
So.
I got you. Well, Corley, we appreciate you coming up here and stopping by for a little bit. We'd like to catch up with you once school starts back and kind of catch up with you. There's some things I'd like to continue in terms of our coverage. So congratulations on a successful first year and a great summer camp and summer league, rather, and we'll catch up with you later in the fall.
Oh, thanks for having me here.
All right. That was Corley Woods, former Benjamin Russell standout and current Jacksonville State Gamecock. That'll wrap things up here on the Late Morning Sports Roundup show. We appreciate you guys joining us. Sportz Live is up next.